Hello, I'm Dr. Ella Harrison. Meet ein Paranisten.
Why are my hands shaking like this? I thought I was still fine. Then, that one bite of fruit changed a life. When you wake up in the morning, have you ever felt slightly dizzy, noticed a faint numbness in your hands, or experienced a brief moment where your vision blurred and then cleared again? Have you ever brushed it off, thinking you were just tired, or that it was simply because you're getting older? But if these symptoms keep returning, there may be something far more dangerous happening quietly inside your body. Our bodies are like rivers. When water flows strongly, everything stays clean. But when the flow slows, debris begins to collect, and eventually the river becomes blocked. In the same way, when the blood vessels in the brain gradually narrow, they can eventually lead to a stroke. A stroke is a terrifying condition. In just a few minutes, it can steal your ability to speak, your power to move, and even your life. What's even more frightening is that more than half of the people who suffer a stroke believed, right up until it happened, that they were still fine. But there is good news. If you understand the real cause and change just one daily habit, you can reduce your risk of stroke by more than 30%. In today's video, I will show you how a few very familiar fruits can help cleanse your blood vessels and prevent stroke. Please listen carefully for just 3 minutes. You'll learn how to protect your body without taking a single pill. If you'd like to learn more, leave the number 1 in the comments below. And please don't forget to follow, comment, and subscribe. That small action gives me the strength to continue sharing reliable health information with you. My name is Yoo-Ho Jin. I am a medical specialist with over 30 years of clinical experience, currently working at a university hospital. Over the years, I have seen many patients arrive at the hospital far too late, with their brain blood vessels already almost completely blocked. Most of them appeared healthy. They walked daily, ate reasonably well, and believed they were doing fine. But one small mistake in their eating habits, combined with the thought, "I'm still okay," quietly destroyed everything. There is one patient I will never forget. His name was Park Jae-sung, a 62-year-old former high school teacher. For years, his breakfast routine was black coffee, a few slices of ham, and bread. He believed this was a healthy European-style breakfast. One morning, he collapsed at the dining table. An MRI revealed that more than 70% of his brain blood vessels were narrowed. On the outside, he looked slim, and his blood pressure was only slightly elevated. But inside, his vessel walls had thickened, and cholesterol deposits had been building up for years. He said to me, "Doctor, I never imagined a few slices of ham could ruin me like this." Many people believe that as long as they take their medication regularly and keep their blood pressure and cholesterol under control, they'll be fine. But after the age of 50, the body can no longer process fat and sugar the way it once did. The liver, kidneys, and circulatory system gradually slow down. That's when small fat particles and cholesterol crystals begin sticking to the vessel walls, like scale building up inside old water pipes. At first, there's no pain, no warning signs. But one day, all it takes is a tiny blood clot to block blood flow to the brain, triggering a stroke. And all of this can happen in just a few minutes. In Korea, nearly half of people over the age of 60 have brain blood vessels that are more than 50% narrowed. Yet more than 60% of them don't even realize they're carrying a time bomb in their heads. They continue driving, shopping, and believing they're healthy, until one morning they can't move their right hand or can no longer speak. I'm not sharing this to scare you. I want you to understand that disease doesn't come from far away. It is created quietly in our daily lives. One spoonful of salt in soup, one slice of ham, one glass of soda after a meal. Those small choices were slowly building walls inside your blood vessels. I used to believe, like many doctors, that medication was the ultimate answer. But after thousands of consultations, I realized something important. What truly saves patients isn't medicine, it's changes in their daily habits. That's why I say this health doesn't begin in the hospital. It begins at your dining table. Today, I want to introduce 5 familiar fruits. These fruits are the keys to cleaning your blood vessels and preventing stroke. This isn't a miracle. It's medically proven. These fruits lower cholesterol, reduce inflammation, prevent blood clots, and naturally improve circulation. You don't need expensive drugs or weekly hospital visits. Simply knowing the right foods and eating them correctly allows the body to heal itself. Before we go further, imagine this. If you rinsed your blood vessels every day with a glass of clean water, the flow would never stop, even as you age. But if you keep adding sand and oil, one day everything will come to a halt. That's the difference between people who prevent disease and those who wait for it to arrive. Next, I'll explain 4 common foods that quietly destroy your blood vessels, followed by 5 fruits that protect your brain. This isn't just about nutrition. It's about taking control of your health, living steadily and intentionally, and treating every meal with care. Let's begin, so you can live not only longer, but healthier, clearer, and happier with your family. After discussing the habits that quietly damage your blood vessels, we now need to face the real cause head-on. That cause is the food most Koreans eat every single day. Once you truly understand these invisible enemies, you'll realize that stroke is not an accident. It is the result of what accumulates meal after meal. Please listen carefully to this part. Even the food sitting casually on your dinner table tonight may be harming your brain. The first is processed meat. It's in almost every refrigerator. Ham, sausages, bacon, and especially Spam. Many people choose these foods for busy mornings or quick side dishes. But did you know that just one thin slice of ham contains nearly half of the recommended daily intake of salt? That excessive sodium suddenly raises blood pressure and places constant stress on the vessel walls. Just like tapping on a wall day after day eventually creates cracks. On top of that, processed meats are loaded with saturated fats and repeatedly refined industrial oils. Over time, blood vessels thicken and lose their elasticity. When the body can't fully eliminate these substances, the brain's blood vessels are often the first to suffer. The second is fried food. Koreans love French fries, donuts, and crispy snacks. But foods fried in oil that has been reused multiple times lower good cholesterol and increase bad cholesterol. When this continues for years, blood vessels become narrower and harder. Blood no longer flows smoothly, like a drain pipe clogged with grease. One of my patients once said, "I only ate fried chicken once a week." But when that, once a week, continues for years, the microscopic damage inside the vessels never fully recovers. The third is sweetened beverages. This is a quiet but extremely common enemy. Soda, bubble tea, even store-bought fruit juices. Most of these drinks contain liquid sugar in a form that is quickly converted into fat by the liver. When you drink them, blood sugar spikes sharply, damaging the thin protective lining inside your blood vessels. Cholesterol then begins to cling to those damaged areas, and that's where blockage begins. Many people say, "I only drink 1 can of soda a day." But that 1 can contains about 40 grams of sugar, roughly 8 teaspoons. Drinking that daily is like sprinkling sweet sand directly into your bloodstream. The last is salty soups and broths. In Korean meals, soup, stew, and ramen are almost unavoidable. After a long day, a hot spoonful of soup feels comforting. But that warmth is a double-edged sword. A single bowl of kimchi stew or spicy ramen often contains over 2,000 milligrams of sodium, twice the recommended daily amount. To expel that salt, the body raises blood pressure. Each time this happens, blood vessels stretch and suffer tiny injuries. Once the vessel wall weakens, fat sticks to it, and blockage begins, just like scale building up inside old pipes. When you combine these 4, processed meats, fried foods, sweetened drinks, and salty dishes, your blood vessels are under constant assault, like an industrial exhaust pipe, never given a break. The good news is this: when you change your diet, your body begins to heal itself. The endothelial cells lining your blood vessels have the ability to regenerate when given the right conditions. And those conditions are not far away. They're found in fresh fruit, nature's perfect remedy. One of my patients, Miss Choi Eun-hee, ran a small restaurant in Busan. Because she was busy, her meals often consisted of spicy ramen and a few pieces of kimchi. Over time, she began feeling dizzy when bending her head and noticed her speech occasionally slurring. Tests showed that nearly 60% of her brain blood vessels were narrowed. I advised her to gradually change her diet, reduce salt, avoid fried foods, and eat half an apple and a handful of blueberries every morning. 3 months later, her LDL, bad, cholesterol had dropped significantly, and her blood pressure stabilized by more than 15 points. She smiled and said, "Doctor, I never thought such a small change could make my head feel this clear." That's the message I want to give you. Food is both the cause and the cure. When you reduce foods that damage your blood vessels, fruits, vegetables, and clean water naturally allow your body to heal. Now, let me introduce 5 fruits that cleans blood vessels, protect the brain, and reduce the risk of stroke. This is not folk medicine. These effects are supported by research from universities around the world. And surprisingly, these fruits are easy to find at your local market. Many people think washing blood vessels with fruit is just a metaphor. But inside these simple fruits are scientifically proven compounds that improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and soften vessel walls. Nature is far wiser than we realize. No surgery, no medication. With patience and the right choices, the body can recover. The first is blueberries, the brain's natural shield. Widely enjoyed in juices or mixed into yogurt, their deep purple color is not just for looks. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that neutralize harmful free radicals, protect endothelial cells, and prevent vessel hardening. A 20-year Harvard study found that people who ate half a cup of blueberries daily reduced their stroke risk by 34%. Anthocyanins also enhance memory, often outperforming expensive brain supplements. After age 50, a daily handful of blueberries becomes a natural defense for the brain. The second is avocado, nature's lubricant for blood vessels. Many people see avocados only as diet food, but they are one of the best fruits for vascular health. Their monounsaturated fats lower bad cholesterol and raise good HDL cholesterol. Research from the University of California showed that eating just half an avocado daily reduced LDL cholesterol by an average of 20%. Avocados also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, which support brain function and reduce vascular inflammation. When eaten with tomatoes or leafy greens, their healthy fats dramatically increase antioxidant absorption. The third is tomato, the red heart of summer. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, which prevents cholesterol oxidation and keeps blood vessels flexible and elastic. Lycopene is absorbed up to 5 times better when tomatoes are lightly cooked with olive oil rather than eaten raw. That's why I often recommend tomato avocado salad. It's delicious and excellent for cardiovascular health. Tomatoes also help protect the prostate, but most impressively, a single serving can effectively turn back your vascular age. The fourth is apple, simple yet powerful. Apples are often underestimated, but they protect both blood vessels and digestion. There's a saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." It's not an exaggeration. Apple skins contain pectin, a soluble fiber that helps remove cholesterol from the bloodstream. Quercetin reduces inflammation, stabilizes blood pressure, and prevents clot formation. I always tell patients to eat apples with the skin, because that's where most of the nutrients are. As a child, my mother used to cut half an apple and share it with the family every morning. Only now do I realize it wasn't just a habit. It was an act of care. The fifth fruit is pomegranate, the symbol of youth and longevity. For centuries, it has represented life in Eastern cultures. Pomegranates contain powerful antioxidants called punicalagins, which are 3 times stronger than those found in green tea. They don't just prevent blockage, they help break down existing plaque. A study from Tel Aviv University showed that patients with atherosclerosis who drank pomegranate juice daily for 3 years reduced plaque buildup by an average of 30% and improved blood flow by over 50%. No medication has shown results like that. Pomegranates also lower blood pressure, balance hormones, and improve skin tone. Just be sure to choose 100% pure pomegranate juice without added sugar. All 5 fruits, blueberries, avocados, tomatoes, apples, and pomegranates, share common traits. They're low in sugar, rich in antioxidants, and naturally protect blood vessels. Timing matters too. Eating fruit on an empty stomach can irritate the stomach or spike blood sugar, So the best time is 1 hour after meals or as an afternoon snack. About 200 grams a day is enough, 1 apple or a handful of blueberries. Health isn't about eating more. It's about eating right. The body is like a garden. Water it properly and flowers bloom. Overwater it and roots rot. Fruit works the same way. If you take blood pressure or blood thinning medication, eat fruit at least 2 hours after taking your medicine, especially pomegranate and grapefruit, which can interact slightly with medications. Now, let me tell you one final story. This is the story of a man who followed these principles and experienced real change. It's the story of Mr. Park Jae-sung, the man who collapsed in his kitchen. 6 months later, when I saw him again, I was amazed, not by test results, but by his smile. His complexion was healthy, his eyes were clear, and his voice was strong. He said, "These days, my wife and I peel apples together every morning and share a blueberry smoothie. Before going out to the garden, we drink half a glass of pomegranate juice. I call it our vascular cleansing ritual." His test results confirmed the change. His bad cholesterol returned to near normal levels. His blood pressure stabilized. Most importantly, his hand numbness and dizziness disappeared completely. I still remember what he said. "Doctor, I realized I didn't need more medicine. I needed to listen to my body." That sentence stayed with me. Our bodies don't send signals without reason. Dizziness, cold hands, heavy mornings. These aren't just fatigue. They're quiet warnings about blood flow. When you listen and act in time, illness loses its chance to take your life. I've seen many others like him. A 67-year-old homemaker reduced her blood pressure medication by half after 3 months of following the fruit routine. A bus driver replaced his morning coffee with a tomato, avocado smoothie and said his legs felt lighter and stronger. Small changes gather into great strength. The body always responds when treated with care. So let me ask you, if a tiny change in your daily diet could prevent a major illness, why not start today? Health doesn't wait for diagnosis. It's a choice you make right now. Clear your fridge of processed meats, fried foods, soda, and salty soups. Replace them with blueberries, tomatoes, apples, and a bottle of pure pomegranate juice. Half an apple in the morning. A handful of blueberries after lunch. Half a glass of pomegranate juice in the evening. That alone is enough to cleanse your blood vessels and protect your brain every day. If this video helped you, leave a comment saying, "I'm starting today." That sentence is a promise to yourself. Share this with your parents, siblings, or friends over 50. One small action could save a life. In Korea, we often say happiness comes from small, daily habits. Health is no different. I will never forget Mr. Park gripping my hand after his visit and saying, "Thank you for helping me believe my body could recover." But the truth is, he saved himself. I only showed the path, and you can do the same. Believe in your body's ability to heal. Treasure your health before illness forces you to. Turn each meal into an act of care. Let fruit become a gift to yourself, not just dessert. Thank you for listening until the end. If you watched this far, you truly value yourself. Remember this tomorrow morning when you take a bite of apple or drink pomegranate juice. You are choosing your health and your future. I'm Yu Ho-jin. I've walked alongside patients for over 30 years, and I'm always on your side. I wish you and your family lasting health, calm hearts, and blood flow as clear and fresh as the first morning of life.